Welcome to another episode of our Angular tutorial. So in this video, we're going to learn how to create a new project in Angular. So the first thing that you're going to do is to open your terminal, and after that, you have to go to the folder or directory and the folder where you want to store the project or the application. So in this example, we're going to go to Drive D, and to the folder I have created. The name is Angular. Right. Now we are now ready to give the command to create a new application. Okay. So what's the command? It's ng space new and the name of the application. So for this example, we're going to name it My App. Okay. So it's very simple. Ng space new space and the name of your application. Enter. Okay. Now, it will take a little time for Angular to create the project, so be patient and wait. So after you have given the command, Angular will post a question for you if you like to add Angular routing. Angular routing will help you to make your project execute hyperlink or go to another form. So we need this in our project, so we just type yes. Yes, enter. And then you select which style sheet format would you like to use. So in this project that we'll be creating throughout all the tutorial video, we're going to use the CSS scripting language. There. And then you could see here that it's installing all the packages that is needed for this project. So we'll just wait for it to finish. Remember that when you give, before you give the command ng new, then the name of your application, you are connected to a stable internet connection for this project to be successfully created. Okay? Okay, so our Angular app is already created, right? So the next thing that we're going to do is we want to see what it looks like. So we have to build our application so that we could be able to see it in our browser. So how to build your application? You go to the folder where the folder that has been created by your Angular project. So I'm going to show you the directory of this folder. So you could see here that my app, the name of our application is Angular created an entire folder for this application. So now we need to build this application so that could be able to see in the browser, like what I have said a while ago. So how are we going to build? What we have to do is type ng. No, we have to go first to our folder, to the application folder, and then type there ng serve. Okay. Now it will take a little time again for Angular to build and launch the application so that can be viewed in our browser. Alright, as you could see here in our video, it is compiling and compiling all the necessary component for our project, for our application, and it starts to build now. So you could see the progress on how Angular build the project. There. Almost there. Okay. It compiled successfully, and we are now ready to see it in our browser. So you could see here Angular Live Development Server is listening to our local host for 200. The URL that what we need to enter in our browser for us to see the project. So let's open our browser. Okay, and then we type here our local host for 200. Okay, there. Okay, this is the default page of our Angular application. So what we could do now is to delete whatever is here and then change it to a content that we want to place in here. All right, so how do we do that? Okay, in order to do that, we have to open our text editor. So we are going to use Visual Studio Code for this. Then we open the folder of our application. So File, Open Folder, and then we go to your drive, right D, and we look for the Angular, there you go, and open the folder of our application. Okay, so as you could see here, there's a lot of things that is going on and there's a lot of files that is open, but I would like only to point to your attention the SRC folder. You expand that one, SRC, app, and the four component that is needed for our project. The app component CSS is where you put all the CSS scripting that you need for your project. The app component.html is the default page, okay? And it is where you put the content that you want to place in your Angular project. And then the app component.ts is where the other important data needed by the project. And then we will discuss some of this later on as we progress in our tutorial. All right, so this is the app component.spec.ts. Now, let's only focus our attention with the HTML. So, what we're going to do is to delete all the content of this default page. And then we write here the content of our page. So let's say I would like to put a header and then write hello world. Okay, and then save. All right, now let's look at our browser. There you go. There is our hello world. Okay, now let's go back to our text editor and let's go to our app component.css, and we could create our CSS here for our hello world. Let's put that in the center. Okay, center. Okay, save that. Now let's go to our browser again, and there it automatically goes to the center. So guys, that's how easy it is. So after you created your app, you have to give the command ngserve for your project to be built and launched. And in there, you go to your app component.html to put your content, place there the content that you want to see in the page, and your CSS in the app.component.css. You could find this in the SRC and then app. Okay?